Like many associations, Distripress is facing challenges from its local sector as well as the global economy overall. And I caught up with the association's Managing Director David Owen at this year's ICCA RSMP in Amsterdam to discuss the issues and find out why he was at the event. David Owen, you're from Distripress. First of all, tell us a little bit about your association.
Well, we're coming up to our 60th anniversary, which we'll be holding in Brussels, in the heart of Europe, and in fact in the heart of Brussels at the Square in 2015. But as an association, we bring together, in a speed dating type of service, distributors and publishers of the press, and we have a party once a year somewhere in the world. But there's a very serious side to it, of course. It's because we're in an industry which has got a lot of problems at the moment, fewer people, particularly if you look at the youngsters not reading newspapers. So we are seeing a shrinking audience. So what we're trying to do also as an association is not reinvent ourselves because the core is strong, but also to look at some new markets that we can add into what we're doing.
So how's that affected the kind of meetings and events that you hold?
What it's done, I think, is that we're bringing in new types of speakers, looking at a more domestic circulation and distribution audience rather than the pure international focus that we had before, which gives us an opportunity to then bring in those newspapers and magazines that are not so interested in foreign markets but are still very strong in their own markets. But we're also looking at taking our association into different geographical areas because, you know, the gloom in Europe and in some parts of the States is not reflected across Asia, across the Middle East, and even Africa, that there is growth in newspaper readership as literacy grows. And so maybe Distripress needs to be spending some of its association time outside of Europe and North America.
That's very interesting, potential strategy going forward. When it comes to, the kind of meetings that you hold, I mean, obviously you said there's one major event every year. Is that the main focus?
Yes, it is, and it always has been. We do other things, like we'll get involved with other associations on lobbying for VAT issues or other things that we can play a part in. But that Distripress really is, there's one show a year where once a year, and it's our slogan, we bring the world of press distribution under one roof.
So what kind of scale are we talking here?
Well, as I say, it's shrinking. Our membership shrinks by about 5%. It's only 1,000 people or so, but we need a lot more space than that implies. Because of the speed dating, they're making up one-to-one meetings, and we have 300 tables laid out in a vast room, and it's an amazing thing to see, it really is, when they're all working there on the second day and the noise and the buzz, and it's a fantastic thing to witness.
So you're drilling down into key business benefits here. So what's the key aim of the event?
Well, it allows, for instance, a publisher who's publishing in 40 markets to meet all of his distributors with one visit rather than having to spend time on a relatively small sales amount travelling to each country, and so he can do it or she can do it all in one place.
Now, we've kind of touched on a lot of the issues that are affecting you, the business that you're in. Are there any more that you can share with us? I mean, with respect to, on the organisational side, what issues you're facing?
Well, I think that the issues remain relevance and value. We never look to put on the cheapest event we can. And I've said this to some of the venues in here. What we look to put on is the very best venue or the very best piece that we can within our budget. Yeah. So it's the other way around. It's looking for value rather than just looking for the cheapest cost, because we want our people, when they come in, to feel not only have we done the knowledge sharing right, not only have we done the offer of the business meetings where they can catch up with their distributors, but also we've done the social side right too.
And how do you think the sort of environment's changed with respect to you, proving the value and the return of what you do?
You can do it by retention, that if people are with you year after year, that's good. We also have surveys that are quite detailed at the end of every congress that's sent out, although I do have my doubts a bit about that because it's a bit self-selecting in terms of who fills them in. There are either people who love you, and thankfully most of them are, but you also get the people that really don't like it, and so you get some quite negative ones too. I suppose that's true in any walk of life.
I guess that's life for it, isn't it? We're here at ICCA's RSMP in Amsterdam. What's your involvement this year?
Well, I was asked a few months ago now if I would take part. I wasn't quite sure what I was letting myself in for when I agreed, but I thought, well, Amsterdam in the summer, and they've certainly delivered on the summer. Can't be a bad place. But also, seriously, I'd heard that there was people starting out in the business going to be here, a real mix of people, and I always want to try and help if I can particularly the people starting out and doing some training, if I can impart something. And I've really enjoyed the sessions I've done today. But you know what I've found? It's not just a one-way street, the questions are so good coming back that we're really learning things about our bidding processes and what we should be doing in terms of RFPs and so on. So I would say a thank you to ICCA, because I'm learning as I go along, not just teaching.
You're right. It's a case of how close all the elements of this industry are, and everybody can learn from, basically getting on the floor and networking and discussing new techniques and ideas with people. David Owen, thank you very much for talking to me.
Oh, my pleasure.